Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot on a beautiful spring afternoon. I have torn myself away from my desk. That's where I've been the past few days and will be for the foreseeable future. Very busy, but because I'm in the middle of my second Saturn return, I have decided that the day job can actually be done with at the end of this year, and I'm going to liberate myself to do the things I really love doing. That includes tarot, but also singing and dancing and traveling and having fun. So there you go. That's the plan. And we are going to look at another situation where somebody might have decided that they're done with the things that are holding them back in life and setting off to have some fun. After tarot on the table, you know what that means. A relationship spread coming up. And the reason it's coming up is because Bookworm 2 has some gossip to relate from her sources, and according to her sources, Harry is done with Meghan. Apparently there was a huge rift after the Colombia tour. We saw that. But according to the sources, he's only been back at Montecito for the odd day or two. And when he was there and was witnessed by sources, the iciness between the couple was like a wall. He didn't look Meghan in the eye. We saw that too when they did that very staged interview with what's her name about the parent network. Can't remember her name. Sorry, Jane Pauley. There you go. And didn't look at her, didn't touch her when she was going on about her wanting to off herself. He looked very bored. Quite a strange response to that kind of announcement by your darling wife. Anyway, apparently Meghan was behaving like a 4-year-old, really acting up. Harry couldn't care, didn't bother, wasn't paying her any attention. And allegedly, divorce will be announced next summer. So I did some very basic maths and got to 7 years after the marriage. So perhaps there is some sort of agreement that it's got to last for 7 years. I did a reading on that a while back. Some people say there is some sort of contractual agreement between the two little lovebirds that the relationship has to last a certain distance. So there you go, 7-year itch perhaps coming up. Relationship spread. Of course, as ever, we have to remind you that this is tarot for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion. It's all speculation. I just read energy here. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below. The manifesting card showed up, and it's interesting though that this kind of story is gaining traction. Everybody's talking about it. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised, perhaps the sugars, when or if, shall we say, the news is broken, unless something untoward happens in between. And there are some rather nasty speculations and energies about untoward things that might happen. We're not going to look at that now. I'm being very cryptic. I might look at it, the untowardness. Cards went flying. Okay, we're done. Cards say, come on now. We're ready. So let's see. Relationship spread. Harry and Meghan. We're going to look at Colombia as our past energy. We're going to look at now as our now energy. And we're going to look at next summer as our outcome energy. Harry and Meghan and Harry. That's the now energy. And between the two is, I wonder what lies between them at the moment. We're going to look at the blame game tomorrow, unless something else crops up to look at, and who's blaming whom for what. We've got a little bit of a taster for that in the next reading that I'm going to do today. But there it is, relationship spread, a bit wonky. 9 of Wands as our underlying energy. That's a last stand, a brave last stand. There they are, the two of them, very wounded, very down, and ready to give up. And but putting a brave face on it there's the blame game that we're going to look at a bit next. Tina Brown. The blame game, somebody's injured, somebody's looking at the person who was supposed to stand by them and protect them and say, you got me into this mess, and now look at us. That's the energy that's, and I'm going to get the giggles, that's the energy that's in that card, the Nine of Wands. And I can try and squeeze a tear out now if you want to. But let's look at the past. Harry, this is Colombia energy. Ooh, I knew the Magician was significant, and it showed itself very powerfully to me while I was shuffling. And there she is. So this is after Colombia. Colombia, not Colombia. And we have the Magician for Harry in reverse. He did not like the fact that he was basically being used for her advancement. There is her advancement, taking advantage of his status, his connections, his royalness to push herself forward, put herself on the journey that she wants to put herself on, which is this humanitarian, statesman-y type of nonsense that she tried a little bit with Nigeria and then Colombia. I think she's given it up because the Southern African tour that they were touting as happening around about now was preempted by Harry doing a dash for Lesotho and South Africa on his own recently. But there it is, exploiting him, Magician in reverse, his PR, the trickster energy to promote her cause, Knight of Pentacles. I think it's quite self-evident. I don't think there's anything else in there except that the Magician in reverse is failing to manifest. So whatever she was trying to do failed. And I think he's very aggrieved about how badly it went down. And that's why we got the sudden rebranding of Harry, the pivot of Harry towards his own. I'm a royal, I'm a statesman, I'm a humanitarian, I'm mixing with the Clintons and the blah, blah, blahs, and I'm going to save the world all by myself without her, because I think he felt very sour about how badly she misjudged things, she miscalculated, and it was laughably amateur on her part and made him look really bad. So that's what the Magician is telling us, I think. So let's move on to the now energy and see what's going on now. Harry first. Where's Harry? We've got the Hanged Man still. And the Wheel of Fortune is big cards, and they're not good cards. This is in the context of his relationship and his life, and the idea that it might all be over on the marriage front by next summer. So Hanged Man is somebody who is still in limbo, still can't act, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune is about timing, and so it's about fate and those kinds of outside events. And he's clearly feeling that the gods are against him, that he's hamstrung at this point because he can't act. He's got to wait with that Hanged Man energy while he's kicking around and waiting and hiding from us because he hasn't been seen for weeks now. Apart from that rather dodgy footage of him surfing in the wave park. It seems to be really old footage of him when he could barely stand up on his surfboard. Apart from that, nowhere to be seen. That's Hanged Man energy. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The timing is all off. The odds are against him. The gods are against him. He's feeling quite sour about things at the moment, I suspect. He's got a big long wait. And while he's having that big long wait, he has got some thinking to do. And he's got some insights to get. And he's got some perspective to get as well on his fate, on where he is in the world, on the gamble that he and Meghan took leaving the royal family and how badly that all turned out. Tina Brown reading coming up next. It's quite weird how this is linking into that reading that I'm planning to do next. But anyway, two major arcana, both of them telling me out of sorts, out of luck, stuck, victimized, feeling like he's powerless, feeling like he's a victim in this situation, wanting to free himself, but the time is not now to do it. So that's what the cards are telling me. That's all, of course, speculation. Meghan's energy right now. We've got the Five of Swords, and it's, ooh, she knows it's over. Wow. It's actually when I get energy like that, because I'm an empath and I read energy intuitively, I get the icy hand around my heart. And I'm in a fine mood today, despite being stuck at my desk on a beautiful spring afternoon. The icy hand around my heart is a hand of pure panic. 5 of Swords in reverse. She knows she's lost. She's lost. Battle. Finished over 10 of Swords. That's such a grim card in the After Tarot, that 10 of Swords. When you're done and you're chucked in the ditch and you are finished. She knows she's being chucked in the ditch. And she is being chucked in the ditch. Tina Brown reading coming up. The blame game has begun. Ooh, that's just terrible energy. I'm not a fan of Madame Markle at all. The way she's treated the royal family, just about all of the royal family. She's picked them off one by one and taken aim, and really done damage to them. That is my personal opinion, and that is one of the reasons I do these readings, because it's interesting to me to see how it unfolds for her. The damage that she has done to others seems to be coming back around, and that's one of the things the Wheel of Fortune tells us about, is energy coming around. Just like the horsefly is coming around her to try and shoo it out earlier. Isn't it interesting? I'm reading on her, and there's a giant horsefly inside. The joys of spring in a rural area. Anyway, so that's the ambient background music. Sorry about that. But what's going on between them? They've got the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. We're going to carry on pretending for a while longer that it's just the most beautiful relationship that ever was. 10 of Cups, always a bit too much, a bit extra when it comes to pretending that everything's perfect in your relationship. But meanwhile, 6 of Pentacles is going on. That's divvying up the assets. That's dividing things. You get this, beggar, you old crone, you get that sort of, those rotten old pentacles that if you bite into turn out to be fake, and you shuffle off over there with your pentacles. There's not much to divvy up in the 6 of Pentacles, the way it's portrayed. In the After Tarot, it's the card of charity, it's the card of reciprocity, doling out alms to the worthy recipients. But as I say, not much there, but it's who gets what, who gets the mudslide mansion, who gets the house in Portugal, allegedly, according to these sources I was referencing at the start of this reading. It's been done through royal family lawyers. That's the story that is according to Bookworm sources, and has been put in a trust, and not a trust that's managed by Doria and Meghan, apparently. We're getting all kinds of different stories about but this is the story that this source is claiming. So there it is, and that to me is the who gets what part of things. Well, we carry on the pretense of happy ever after. So let's see where we are next summer with these two, because it goes up and down and round, and you never know from one day to the next what is actually going on with them. Harry's energy, Meghan's energy. Okay, it's ending. Death card. A little bit of a nudge that something else could be ending, not necessarily in that very dramatic way. It's of course Scorpio energy, it's the king, it's all of that. And in this card always there's a monarch, and who is on his knees or down and out. So we might have a change of reign, just by the way, next summer. Interesting energy. I know people get upset about it and don't want to talk about it, but can't help what the cards tell me. I just, it is what it is. But more importantly, that's very minor energy, which might really make a big difference in Harry's life, but not for the purposes of this reading. He's done. Death card is ending, and it's a difficult ending. the Death card is not one that you welcome. It's not one that you embrace. It's not, oh, what fun, let's go off on a new adventure. It's, oh no, I'm going to have to admit I was wrong, but I'm going to make sure that she gets blamed for it. Next reading with Tina Brown. And it's time for a big life review with the Death card, because it's the ending of something and then you melt away like the caterpillar and you come back, well, maybe not as a butterfly if you're Harry, maybe you come back as a big giant horsefly. I don't know. But the Death card is radical transformation. You get picked down to the bones. And it's not fun, but it is necessary when you're in a very toxic situation and you need to get out of it. He's the one doing the doing, seemingly here. She's got the Ace of Swords, which means that she's up for a fight. And she's got some truth-telling to tell, her truth. It's always her truth. And we could get the memoir finally. We could get another Oprah interview. It's a big moment of an interview. The Ace of Swords isn't going quietly away. Throw me in a ditch here. I'm coming back and I'm telling my truth. And I'm going to noise it abroad, as they say. And it's going to be interviews, newspapers, book deals. She's going to take him down. Ooh. Ouch, I think is the word. That's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you with Tina Brown.